Spanish royal family. 7 myths versus facts. What if some of the things you believe about the Spanish royal family simply aren't true? From Princess Leonor's future as queen, to royal money, military duties, private life, and even where the family actually lives, the Spanish monarchy is surrounded by myths. Some are based on misunderstandings, some come from old traditions, and others are simply internet rumors. Today we're separating royal myths from facts. We'll look at 7 popular claims about Spain's royal family, and by the end, you may see the monarchy very differently. So let's begin. Princess Leonor already has absolute power. Princess Leonor is Spain's heir apparent, and her future role is one of the most discussed subjects surrounding the monarchy. But here's the important distinction. Being the heir does not mean she currently rules Spain. Under Spain's constitutional system, political power belongs to the institutions established by the Constitution and to elected authorities. King Felipe VI is the current head of state. Leonor is preparing for a future role that could eventually see her become Queen of Spain. So when people say, Leonor is already the most powerful person in Spain, that's misleading. Fact: Leonor is the heir to the Spanish crown, but she does not currently govern the country. Her public duties are part of preparing her for a future constitutional role. And that brings us to another major myth. The Spanish king can make any law he wants. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings about constitutional monarchies. Some people imagine that because Felipe VI is king, he can simply make decisions whenever he wants. But Spain is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. That means the king's powers and responsibilities are defined by the Constitution. Spain has a parliament, a government, courts, political parties, and elected representatives. The monarch performs important constitutional and ceremonial functions, but he doesn't govern Spain like an absolute monarch. Fact: King Felipe VI is head of state, not an absolute ruler. His role includes constitutional duties, representing Spain, receiving foreign ambassadors, and carrying out other functions established by the Constitution. So the crown has an important role, but it operates within a constitutional framework. The royal family lives completely inside a palace. When people hear Spanish royal family, they may immediately imagine enormous palace rooms, gold decorations, and royal life happening entirely inside historic palaces. But reality is more complicated. Spain has several royal residences and historic royal properties. However, the royal family's everyday private life is not simply a permanent palace lifestyle. The official residence associated with the Spanish royal family is the Zarzuela Palace, near Madrid. The Royal Palace of Madrid, meanwhile, is primarily used for official ceremonies and state occasions. Fact: the Spanish monarchy has access to historic royal properties, but that doesn't mean every member of the family spends ordinary daily life living inside the Royal Palace of Madrid. And that difference between official spaces and private life is often misunderstood. Princess Leonor can marry anyone without any royal considerations. Now we reach a subject that always gets attention: Princess Leonor's future marriage. Whenever Leonor is photographed with another young person, speculation can explode online. Could she marry a commoner? Could she marry someone from another royal family? Does she have to marry royalty? The answer isn't as simple as social media rumors make it sound. Modern European royal marriages are very different from centuries ago. A future queen is not necessarily expected to marry another king or prince simply for political reasons. But there are constitutional and institutional considerations surrounding the succession. Fact: marriage is a personal decision, but for the heir to the Spanish crown, marriage can also have constitutional implications. Spain's constitution contains specific provisions concerning the marriages of people in the line of succession. So the idea that Leonor can simply marry anyone with absolutely no constitutional considerations is misleading. And the opposite claim that she must marry another royal is also an oversimplification. The royal family has unlimited money. This is another extremely popular myth. Because the Spanish royal family attends official events, travels internationally, lives in prestigious residences, and appears surrounded by ceremony, some people assume the monarchy has unlimited personal wealth. But the reality is more complicated. The Spanish monarchy receives public funding for the constitutional responsibilities of the crown. The king has responsibility for distributing the amount allocated to the royal household. But public funding for the institution should not automatically be confused with unlimited personal wealth. Fact: the Spanish royal household operates with a publicly funded budget, and its accounts are subject to transparency measures. The monarchy also has historic assets and properties associated with the state, but that does not mean every palace, artwork, or historic property is simply the personal property of the king. This distinction between state assets, institutional funding, and private wealth is extremely important. Leonor's military training is just a royal tradition. Now this one is particularly interesting. Princess Leonor has undergone military training as part of her preparation for her future constitutional role. Some people see this simply as a traditional royal ceremony, but there is a much deeper reason. Spain's constitution establishes an important role for the king in relation to the armed forces. As the future monarch, Leonor is preparing for constitutional responsibilities that come with the crown. Her military education is therefore not simply about learning how to wear a uniform or participate in ceremonies. It is part of her broader preparation for becoming Spain's future head of state. Fact: Leonor's military training is connected to the responsibilities expected of the future monarch, and it sends a powerful message. Her future position isn't only about ceremonies and crowns. It comes with serious constitutional responsibilities. Being royal means having an easy life. This may be the biggest myth of all. From the outside, royal life can look perfect. Designer clothes, international travel, palaces, ceremonies, security, famous family members. But there is another side that cameras rarely show. For someone like Princess Leonor, becoming queen isn't simply about privilege. It means growing up under intense public attention. Her education is closely watched. Her public appearances are analyzed. Her speeches can make headlines. Her friendships and future relationships can attract enormous speculation. And every mistake can become international news. Fact: royal life comes with significant privileges but also extraordinary responsibilities and public scrutiny. Leonor has been preparing for a future that most people will never experience. She isn't simply preparing for a job. She is preparing for a constitutional position that could define the rest of her life. So what have we learned? The Spanish royal family isn't quite the fairy tale that some people imagine. But it isn't the powerless institution that others believe either. The truth is somewhere in between. Princess Leonor doesn't currently rule Spain. King Felipe VI isn't an absolute monarch. The royal palace isn't simply the family's everyday home. Leonor's future marriage has constitutional considerations. The royal household operates with public funding. Her military education has a constitutional purpose. And royal life comes with both enormous privilege and enormous pressure. That's what makes the Spanish monarchy so fascinating. Because behind the crowns, ceremonies, and photographs is a complex constitutional institution, adapting to the modern world. Conclusion. Now I want to know what you think. Which of these 7 royal myths surprised you the most? Was it Princess Leonor's military training? The truth about royal money? Or the reality of her future role as queen? Tell me your answer in the comments. And if you enjoy discovering the truth behind the Spanish royal family, subscribe to the channel. Because in the next video, we're going even deeper into the world of Princess Leonor, uncovering the things most people don't see behind the royal spotlight. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next royal story.